Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another live this morning. I hope you haven't been feeding the bears. Okay, you like my hat? Okay, here we go, guys, and we want to say hello to a few friends this morning. Brahim, you made it #1. Mike from Norland, how are you guys? Good to have you on this morning. Nice to be with you. Let me see. Madeleine's here from Kippawa, Quebec. Eric from Ottawa. Let me see if I can read without my glasses. Wendy, good morning. And Rita. And wait a minute, Nativity. I can barely see. I'm trying to clean my glasses. Fran, how are you? Mary from Norwich. And Jeanette from our staff. Good morning. Donna, good morning. And Wendy from Markham. The Wendy's are on this morning. Jocelyn, how are you? Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Arlene, good morning to you. And Deborah. And Linda. Oh, we love those Lindas. Nick from our staff. Jean. Bradenton. Catherine. Parksville, British Columbia. Gary from Bolton, how are you? Donna from Bell Ubert. Gloria, New York. Linda. Judy, good morning. And what does that say? Bonnie, hi Bonnie. Kevin, sunny in Oshawa. It's sunny here today too. Nativity. Elaine, good morning. Wanda from Virginia. Gina, good morning. And Donna from Newfoundland. Kathy, good morning. Yeah, Bonnie. Bonnie. Rose, how are you from Brampton? Karen, how is you? And I can't see. Vera, Newfoundland. Suzanne. And Christine from Mississauga. Sue, good morning. And I can't see it. Sharon, it goes up into the ceiling there. Darlene, happy Valentine's Day to you guys. Janice, Sunny in Brampton. And Catherine and Keith, good morning to you. Okay, guys, let's get going. Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to you guys. We love you. I've never said that to you before, right? Well, today would be the first. We love you dearly. Guys, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it big time, okay? I'm going to spend my time this morning on high fructose corn syrup, okay? The antichrist of sugars. New study just came out, and it ain't good, okay? But just before I get to that, okay, vitamin D wins again. Guys, I'll tell you, vitamin D, I was listening to a physician the other day online who was saying vitamin D on its own would just about eradicate disease. Like he's so impressed with it. Viruses, bacteria, cancer, and he went on and on and on and on. Anyway, this is a new study, just came out, read it this morning as a matter of fact. Vitamin D wins again in in atrial fib. For every 10 points that your vitamin D goes up, and in Canada, this is a United States study, so 10 points times 2.5, right? So every 25 points in Canada that your vitamin D goes up, you decrease your risk of atrial fib, which is very dangerous, by the way, for strokes, especially strokes. Heart attacks, yes, but strokes are even worse when you have atrial fib, okay? Now, I have always talked to you about the importance of CoQ10 for your heart, for the rhythm of your heart, for the strength of your heart. And vitamin D for the heart, it wins. You win. And I know you guys are all disciples of vitamin D. I know you are. And you need to be. And it's unreal, the war that's going on vitamin D. And if people would just understand that it's a war, it's propaganda against it, it's unreal. Anyway, okay, just wanted to bring that to you this morning before I get into high fructose corn syrup. A new study, okay, a new study is talking about the dangers of high fructose corn syrup for autoimmune disease. Okay? And they say why. Because high fructose corn syrup, one thing we know about fructose, okay? Fructose is metabolized different than ordinary sugar. Why is that? Because fructose, like alcohol, goes to the liver almost directly, okay, to the liver. And so think about that for a minute, okay? Okay, it goes to the liver, Doc. What does that mean? Well, why do we see, and I mean it, in school in the 70s, okay? School in the 70s, no such thing as non-alcoholic fatty liver. There was no such thing. It was something that we didn't even study, that we studied cirrhosis of the liver. And you could get fatty liver on the way to getting cirrhosis of the liver, and those were people almost exclusively that were alcoholics. That's what alcohol does. There isn't a physician anywhere in the world that doesn't know that. Alcohol to the liver. And if it's bad enough, you get cirrhosis of the liver. But it starts a process of fatty liver first. But that's what we studied. And what we didn't study was fatty, non-alcoholic fatty liver. Okay? And NAFLD. And it's so prevalent today that even children can get non-alcoholic fatty liver. Imagine even children, because they changed the sugar. 1980 was a good time, I guess, to be born, but it certainly was a bad time for things changing in medicine. One of them was in medicine and food. In medicine, statin drugs. And do I ever go a day where I don't talk about the cholesterol hoax? And in 1980, you know what else happened? Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola and the big food companies discovered a sugar, high fructose corn syrup, and they went with it. It was made in a lab. The results of that have been disastrous. Disastrous. Because, look, like I tell my grandchildren, okay? Grandpa had sugar. Grandpa had cookies and ice cream too, you know, and soda drinks. When I was a kid, okay? We didn't have it every day, but you could drink soda as a kid, you know? I mean, if you had 10 cents, you could go buy yourself a soda. Now, I know you guys are laughing at me because you think I was born in the days of Noah, but I'm telling you. But I'm not saying it was good for you then. I'm not saying that. But what's happened? What's changed? Why are people so big? Why is there so much obesity? Why is there so much fatty liver disease? It's crazy. And I've taught you over the years the ramifications of fatty liver. What happens in the liver, it ain't Vegas, right? The Costco parking lot. What happens in that liver doesn't stay in the liver. It's at the root of heart disease. It's at the root of diabetes. It's at the root of brain, Alzheimer's, and dementia. Okay? But this new study said, okay? This new study said, yes, very, very damaging to the liver. Okay? That's just taken. But what they're adding is new research is showing that on its way to the liver, it destroys the small intestine. Okay? Now, the small intestine is not that small. It's wide. Okay? It's small compared to your large intestine. But in the small intestine, guys, it is so key, the small intestine. Because it's again, okay? For those listening on a podcast, you know me and my illustrations. The small intestine is like a shag carpet. Now, imagine that if you're on a podcast listening to this. If you're live, I'm showing you a chunk of shag carpet. Okay? When you think shag carpet, you think of the 70s. When I think of shag carpet, I think of your small intestine. Because these shags, okay, they're like your villi in your small intestine. Okay? So imagine that shag carpet and the villi. And what happens in the villi here? Okay? This is where your food gets absorbed. So in your stomach, why do you want to have an acidic stomach? Very acidic. You want it to be extremely acidic. Because you were made to eat eggs, meat, and cheese. And to that end, especially red meat, your stomach needs to be seriously acidic. Even more acidic than a lion's stomach. Okay? Around 1.5 acidity. It will dissolve, it should, a penny. I remember in the old days in school, we said, your stomach is so acidic, if you swallowed a penny, it will dissolve it. Okay? I remember that. But we don't have acidic stomachs anymore. Because we bought the lie of eating vegetables and fruit and crappy carbs compared to meat. So what happens? If you don't use that pH, you lose it. It goes up. And you want your stomach to be breaking down all of your food. You need that acidity. It's micro-sized. Okay? And when food gets into the small intestine, now back to the shag carpet, the villi, okay? The villi, it's wide, okay? So remember that. Your small intestine is small in length, but wide. And that's allowing food, okay, that's already micro-sized, and bile comes in. If you're eating fat, bile comes in from your gallbladder, originally from the liver, and it emulsifies so you can absorb fat and absorb your vitamins. Okay? Your vitamins. Vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin K. Okay? ADEC. You need that now. Okay? Now, what happens with high fructose corn syrup? Okay? What happens to the small intestine? As high fructose corn syrup comes into the small intestine, your body don't like it. Your small intestine, it creates disaster in there, And now, instead of having this, okay, showing the, I don't know, 1970 shag carpet, okay, probably the 80s too. I don't remember, but it's certainly in the 70s. Now you have a carpet, a more modern carpet, very tight. You don't have the villi. Well, they're there, but they're damaged. You know what that is, guys? I know you're looking at the carpet, but what this, it carpet bombs, you know what does it? Antibiotics carpet bomb your small intestine. I've said that for years. That's a big problem. But now they're showing high fructose corn syrup en route to your liver, because it's going to get to your liver very rapidly. That's what fructose does. Goes to the liver rapidly. But on the way past your small intestine, it carpet bombs. Now your villi are different. They're tight. They're not absorbing as much. Thus, you get garbage that gets into the bloodstream. Remember, between your carpet and your blood, remember, when you microsize your food, once it's absorbed, your body allows it into your bloodstream. For what? Delivery. The life of the flesh is in the blood. Your blood is the river of life. It sends in all your nutrients, not only oxygen, but nutrients, right? But what happens if it's your small intestine has been carpet bombed? Now you're allowing crap that never should have got into your bloodstream to bypass, it should be sent out of your body down to your large intestine, to be sent into the toilet. A lot of stuff gets in. Toxins, heavy metals. Do you know that high fructose corn syrup has heavy metal in it? Mercury. They always blame the fish for what, I always said that. People used to tell me, Doc, I don't eat fish. I said, why? Mercury. Yeah, maybe you should watch the tuna. But I said, fish? Nah, don't stop eating fish. Now I have fish every day in a capsule. Okay? But don't stop eating fish. You know how you're getting the mercury in your body? It's high fructose corn syrup. That's what's doing it. Why do you think I call it the Antichrist of sugars? I didn't just make that up, guys. Well, I made it up, but it's true. It disrupts the small intestine. It's like an antibiotic. And look, antibiotics can save your life. But they do a lot of damage if you don't replace that bacteria, the good guys. You need reinforcements every day to rebuild. And you don't want a shag carpet, you want a shag carpet. You don't want that tight carpet in the small intestine. It damages. High fructose corn syrup, think of sugar. Like you guys know me and sugar. Do I like sugar? I like it, but it don't like me. You like it, and it don't like you. Your body is so smart, it tightly regulates sugar. You know that. I teach you that daily. Your sugar is so toxic to your body is dedicated to controlling that. The traffic cop. Remember? Sugar? Come here. Can't park in the blood. I won't let you. That's insulin's job. It says, come here. I'm parking you elsewhere, okay? The problem with high fructose corn syrup, it's sugar on steroids. It's different. It has a different, first of all, it's made in a lab, okay? And it's a synthetic sugar. It really is. Just like these seed oils, like synthetic. I went and got my oil changed in my car the other day, okay? Dr. Martin, do you want fully synthetic for your car? I said, well, my grandson's a mechanic, and he said yes. So whatever he says, he said, get it done, Grandpa. Pay more. Your engine will last longer because it's fully synthetic, but not for your body. Your body doesn't know what that is. It's like margarine. High fructose corn syrup is a terrible sugar. It's worse than any sugar that you can imagine. It's worse than artificial sugars, because it is an artificial sugar, but it's the king of the castle. It's terrible stuff. It's why today, okay, people are so big. Why are people so big? Why is there so much obesity today? High fructose corn syrup. If they would have stayed with the old sugar, we'd still have problems, but it wouldn't be like it is today. This stuff is sugar on steroids, if you know what I mean by that expression. It just multiplies. It's disaster. We already talked about it for your liver. Disaster for obesity. Disaster. It's fructose. Think about that. Okay? When a bear is getting ready for winter, okay, what does it do? It looks for blueberries. Now, I like blueberries, right? Don't you? I love blueberries. A bear will eat up to 30,000 blueberries a day as it gets ready to hibernate for the winter. It fattens up. Fructose. Okay? Fructose. You're not hibernating. Okay? Some of us, we hibernate in the winter like a bear. We only come out in the spring. No, we're not. We're human beings. Sure, you can have a little bit of fructose, but not much. People that think they ought to live on fruit, they're God's candies. They're not meant for you to live on. And the worst thing you can do with fruit sugar is what? You guys know this. The worst thing you can do with fructose is drink fructose. This has been an unmitigated disaster for our health. Drinking fruit, remember, high fructose corn syrup is liquid. Now, they can make it into a solid, but it's really liquid. So when it gets in your body, it's liquefied. What does that mean? Disaster. Heads over. It goes through your small intestine. It destroys the shag carpet on its way to the liver to make you fat. So you can get ready for hibernation. Not good. You're not a bear. Don't feed the bears, right? Guys. And this has been, and this is, okay, I didn't even get started on this yet. This has been one of the greatest reasons in the increase in autoimmune disease today. Antibiotics, I've written about it. I wrote how many books? When I studied chronic fatigue syndrome in the late 80s, I wrote my thesis on it. And one of the disasters that had come down the pipe in those days, one of the reasons they got leaky gut. Imagine me talking about that way back then. Leaky gut. Why did they get leaky gut? Because those people, we did a survey, we studied them, and almost invariably they had been on lots of antibiotics when they were kids. Destroyed their small intestine. It destroyed their microbiome. It changed the microbiome. Who knew? Nobody told them. They didn't know. And then years later, they got sick. And they were autoimmune. They were allergic to themselves. And what we know today about antibiotics, the greatest discovery of the 20th century, has been a curse for the 21st. In terms of side effects. It's been unreal. And that's why I talk to you even about autism. I was the first guy, I think, to relate the gut to the brain as far as autism goes. I said, well, their gut got destroyed even in the placenta or shortly thereafter. Even in mommy. Anyway, back to high fructose corn syrup. Guys, everything gets worse. The small intestine, the shag carpet becomes a very tight, carpet-bombed area. Now those villi can't absorb food properly. Now, a lot of people, they're allergic, so allergic to, they have, oh, Dr. Martin, I have food sensitivities. No kidding. You're allergic to yourself. Okay? And people have this autoimmune stuff. And it all starts in the gut. And one of the culprits is antibiotics. And the other one is high fructose corn syrup. Our kids. They're consuming almost 200 stinking pounds of that stuff a year. It's in everything. It's in breads. It's in baked goods. It's in canned foods. It's in yogurt. You can hardly buy a bread today that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it. I was looking at a chicken broth the other day at the grocery store. Don't come with me to the grocery store unless you have time. Why? I like to read the labels. And I was looking at a chicken broth. Okay? And it had for high fructose corn syrup in it. They put it in everything. It's cheap. It's cheap. It tastes wonderful. And they hook people from cookies to you name it. High fructose corn syrup. And they couch it with 100 different names. Okay? And it sounds natural, doesn't it? High fructose. Oh, that's good. Corn. That's good. Syrup. That's all right. They couch it. They give it all sorts of names. It's craziness. It makes us big. It makes the liver big. It makes the heart big. It makes the pancreas big. It makes your brain small. You want a big... Oh, Dr. Martin, it's Valentine's Day. I want a big heart. No, you don't. I have such a big heart. You don't want a big heart. You don't want a big heart. Well, you do. Okay? You do. You want that emotionally to have a big heart. Okay? But you don't want to have a big heart physically. Believe you me. Bigger is not better when it comes to your heart. Bigger is not better when it comes to your liver. Bigger is not better when it comes to your pancreas. And then it does the opposite in the brain. It shrinks your brain. It shrinks it. High fructose corn syrup. It's one of the biggest factors. Listen to me. It's why the reset is so good for you. Listen, Linda and Larry, listen. It's one of the biggest reasons when people start the reset, not only empties their liver, yada, yada, yada. One of the biggest things that happen is the blood pressure goes down almost invariably. High fructose corn syrup is unbelievable when it comes to your blood pressure. Again, think sugar and then think steroids. Everything gets worse on that stinking sugar. Everything gets worse. Blood sugar gets worse. Blood pressure gets worse. Insulin resistance, worse than ever. Inflammation. Your body doesn't even know what it is. And again, one of the worst things we do is drink that stuff. Well, even if you eat a cookie and it's got high fructose corn syrup, it's liquefied back to its liquid form and then off to the liver, while it damages your small intestine. Guys, is there anything good about high fructose corn syrup? Nope. Nope. Not one good thing I've got to say about it. Okay? Dr. Martin, we need carbohydrates and glucose to survive. Says who? You don't even need an ounce of high fructose corn syrup at any time. At any time. Never, ever, ever drink that nonsense. It's found in, even Boost. I was talking about that yesterday. Ensure. You want to ensure you're going to die? Well, drink Ensure. Oh, I can't stand it. Okay, I just had to bring it to you, okay? And you know, guys, even, because every day just about every day I get asked about peanut butter, okay? Because I love peanut butter, okay? But guys, you don't want that icing sugar because you know what it is, eh? Okay? Unless it's natural peanut butter, the sugar is different. It's a high fructose corn syrup they use. Yeah. No good. Hate to tell you. I love peanut butter. Okay. Anyway. Okay, guys. I hope you have a great day, okay? And tomorrow will be an afternoon session, okay? So just keep that in mind. We'll post it. And Friday is what? Question and answer Friday. Just for you and just for me. Just having fun. Send your questions in. Love you. Talk to you soon.